Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode where I'm showing off the different synth modules that I have created under the name Avalon Harmonics. This time we'll be having a look at my S&S module. So, as you can see, I have two of them already installed in my case, and let's get started. First of all, I will say a few words about its user interface. As you can see, it has input ports. Input is the value that you wish to sample. I should probably right away say that S&S is a sample and hold module with a lot of extra features. So let's see. Input is basically where you can plug in some value to be sampled. Trig is where you give it a trigger to save the value at that moment. Hold is the output as you would expect. This is basically the held value after you have sent a trigger in. And noise is actually a noise source. It's what you would expect, a white noise source. It has some extra features, as I have mentioned. It has a built-in slew limiter. Using this switch here, you can make it so that instead of instantly changing to a new value, it has a certain slew time, which you can control using the potentiometer here. You can also choose whether you want to sample from the input jack here, or whether you want to sample from the built-in noise source, making it a nice little random generator. So for start, let's bring up the oscilloscope and see how it behaves. I have my oscilloscope in the top right corner, and I will first patch in something that we can use to trigger it. Here. This is my KeyStep Pro, where I will send a sequence of notes, which will just be basically a gate triggering it. And on this end, on the hold, we'll plug in the oscilloscope. You might have noticed that it's already in the minus 6 volts or so. This is the default value, so after you turn the module on, it will default to about minus 6 volts if it was in the noise sampling source. Okay, so now I am holding a key on my KeyStep Pro and continuously sending gates into it, basically sending a little arpeggio. And you can see that the oscilloscope is showing how the value is continuously changing. It's giving a lot of random values, which can be pretty nice for making some sort of a randomly generated melody or composition. You can also see that the module has a little LED on it, which indicates the current value, which is pretty nice so you can know how it's behaving. Let's actually try hearing how this sounds like. What I will do now is my trigger, I will also patch it into one of my ADSRs so it actually triggers audible notes. As you can hear, I am opening and closing a filter with this. Creates a nice little random sequence of cutoff. So how does the built-in slew limiter work? First, you need to activate the switch here. You can already hear it in action slightly. You can hear that the change isn't instant. So let's increase the potentiometer. You can already see it on the scope, the action that it's doing. It's adding a nice little slope to our values. Having a feature like this built straight inside of the sample and hold module is pretty convenient, because you don't have to rely on other modules to slew your values. you can go pretty long with the slew. Obviously it will center at around 0 volts if you go at this long rate, because that's the central value of the random values. Anyway, you can do something like that, a basic patch. So let's see what else you can do with this. I will actually change the patch a little bit around and we'll see what we get. Okay, what I'm going to show next is the built-in noise source, because you might have noticed, and I've mentioned earlier, S&S actually has a built-in noise source. So let's have a look. As you can hear, it provides a nice little constant white noise source. You can use this noise source for all sorts of stuff, maybe for making some sort of hi-hat. So let's try plugging it here. There we go, we already have a nice little, almost a hi-hat sound. There you go. So the general idea is that you can use S&S to basically produce nice noise sources for some sort of a sound. But the fun doesn't end here. There's a reason why I have two of them. I have two of them because then I can produce two separate noise sources and use them in stereo. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to plug the output from the second S&S, route it through the same filter, plug the other thing in, and let's hear. Ooh, suddenly it's in stereo. Very nice stereo sound. This one is pretty nice. So yeah, that's another very nice use for S&S. Let's see what else we can do. Okay, I have completely rerouted a lot of stuff, and this time I'm going to show you how you can use S&S for a sort of sample crushing, you could call it. But basically, what I'm doing is I'm inputting the sound from my chainsaw, which is making a nice little arpeggio like this. Really nice sound, right? I'm feeding both S&S's with a audio rate square wave created by ST Modular's Silene VCO, and I'm outputting the hold back as audio. At first it sounds normal, nothing too special about this sound. I mean, obviously it sounds great. But what happens when I decrease the speed of the VCO that's providing the square wave? As you can hear, it completely crushes the samples. It basically lowers the speed at which the whole analog system is basically sampling the audio. We can use this to create pretty interesting sounds. very lo-fi and interesting. This is another reason why I like having two S&Ss, simply because I like to use them in stereo like this. Well, I guess this covers everything that I really wanted to show for S&S. I will obviously upload more of these videos, where I will show more different modules. I hope this showed everyone the different stuff that this module can do, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.